All right, the Grappler podcast is something new that we're starting to do. Try to do some more kind of like one-on-one interviews. For anyone who doesn't know me, I'm Tony Greathouse. I started Michigan Grappler about 16 years ago. And also we've started GeorgiaGrappler.com, NewYorkWrestlingNews.com, the Grappler Fall Classic. So a lot of stuff that has kind of stemmed off of MichiganGrappler.com. But I'm excited to do this podcast. It's something that I've been wanting to do for a while. And my first guest, excited to have a Michigan State Spartan because I'm also a former Michigan State Spartan, Layne Malczewski, senior wrestler for Michigan State. Layne, thanks for jumping on with us this morning.
Hey, I appreciate you having me, Tony.
So it's Friday morning. You guys are actually getting ready to go to Reno this weekend. You have the Reno Tournament of Champions. I think you said you have practice like right after this, right? And then you're leaving?
Yep, sir. 11 a.m. and then hop on the cars and head right to the airport.
Get some jet lag, time change.
Oh yeah, a lot of jet lag going on today. I'm going to be on a plane for 5, maybe 6 hours today, so it's going to be absolutely terrible.
That's wild. So you are you're a Michigan native. You're from Macomb, Dakota High School. This is your 5th year, right? 5th year senior.
Yes, sir.
And I believe you're a team captain, if I read that right, this year.
I am.
Yep. And
yes,
so definitely one of the leaders on the team. Let's talk about how the season's going so far this year for you and for the team. You're 10-0. You've had a very strong start. 4 pins, I think. The only close match I saw was you had a 1-point match with Nolan from Binghamton, but you got a couple ranked wins. I guess talk about how the season has started for you so far, for you and for the team, and kind of how it's been going.
Well, obviously we've had our, like you said, 10-0. I'm doing everything I can, right now to just, get the win at least. Obviously not everything has been pretty so far, but, at the end of the day, you get the win, right? I mean, you got to be happy about that. But as a team-wise, 6-0 start for the first time since 1970, I think 1972.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no other way you want to be doing, right? I mean, 6-0. We're going to our duel next month again in January 6th. We wrestle Bucknell, our first home duel.
Home opener, yeah.
Yeah, home opener, alumni night, everything. So, it'll be really cool to have that, have Bucknell come in. And I mean, they're a good team, but I mean, we wrestled them last year. We controlled them pretty well and stuff. And I see, and I'm sure other people can see, that our team has only gotten better and jump levels since last year. So, I mean, it'll be a fun duel, but, hopefully to get up to another 7-0 start, hopefully going into our Big Ten season. And that will definitely give us some confidence and have us ready to go to wrestle these tough Big Ten teams.
Yeah. We'll alumni night, it'll be interesting too, because head coach of Bucknell is a Michigan State alumni.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
1995 runner up. So that'll be kind of cool. I wonder if I'm feeling like that was probably planned intentionally.
It could be for sure. I'm pretty sure last year we were they had something going. I forgot what event they had going on too for us last year when we came in. But yeah, it's pretty funny. I'm sure him and Roger had some canoodling, something going on there where they figured that out together.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's talk a little bit about this weekend. So you're going to Reno. Probably, I mean, I don't, it's hard sometimes with these tournaments to tell, like, I see the team list. I know you might know more than I do, but like what teams are actually going to be there and, who they're sending. But it looks like it could be the biggest test for you guys so far this year from an individual standpoint, where you got Oklahoma State, Indiana, Wyoming, Stanford, and then, a bunch of West Coast schools, other schools that are in the mix. But kind of those 4 were the big ones that I noticed. Is that kind of how you guys are looking at it? Like it's, kind of a big, you went to the Navy Classic. That was an individual tournament, but it seems like this is kind of a step up in terms of competition level.
For sure. I would say, we're going in there. I believe there's 61 teams, including ourselves. But, I mean, we need to step up our what we're going, like how we're wrestling and who we're going to be wrestling, going into these next couple, this dual meet season. Obviously, being the Big Ten, you don't get to really have a weekend off with who you wrestle. I mean, even the teams that are technically the lowest teams in the Big Ten are all still ranked practically. Everybody's on the cusp of being ranked. So it's like you need some type of competition, you know, get yourself ready for those tough dual meets and tough off the scale weigh-ins and stuff, you know. So
Yeah.
I think Reno's actually a really good place. Like you said, we get to go out there to the West Coast and wrestle these teams that we're never going to see again, you know, until the NCAA championship. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool to, you know, be able to get a feel for those guys that are out there and stuff. And hopefully I think our team's ready for it. You know, everybody's been excited to, you know, get ready to wrestle some actual competition and see how we can actually do compared to all these other teams.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm excited to watch you guys. The weather's going to be a lot better. It's going to be, I think it's
for sure.
really, really cold this weekend in Michigan. So it'll be a nice escape for you to go down there. Did you ever get to wrestle, you know, with COVID? I feel like I've lost track of time. Did you ever get to go to, you guys went to South Beach?
We did go to South Beach. I wrestled 74 there. So yeah, my sophomore year.
Okay. That must've been like right before COVID.
It was, I believe, the year before. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Or no, it was the year of. That year was the year we got canceled in NCAA's. Yeah. So that was the same.
I think
year.
They stopped doing South Beach after that, after COVID.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it kind of reminds me of the same thing. It's got to be nice escaping, you know, the cold and being somewhere that's a little bit warmer. So yeah, that should be nice for you guys. And like you said, I mean, you get to wrestle some different guys from, you know, different schools that you don't see. So yeah, I'm excited to watch you guys compete this weekend. And talking about the second half of the season, you kind of already talked about it. So after this, you got Christmas break, and then you come back, you open with Bucknell right after the new year. And then you've got a 4-week stretch where you have 8 Big Ten duels in 4 weeks. And like you said, the Big Ten is you know, there's no off days really. You know, every duel is tough, and you know, 2 weigh-ins a week most of the time. This is your 4th time going through it now, you know, in the lineup. How do you prepare yourself, you know, for that, you know, 8-week stretch that you got coming? Or I guess 6 weeks.
Yeah. So obviously, you know, take one match at a time. I don't like to try to look forward too much into the future and like who I'm going to be wrestling the next week or the next week after that or anything like that. So right now my focus is on Reno. Whoever my first match is going to be at Reno, it's the guy I'm going to be focused on, you know, as soon as I figure that out. But going into it, I mean, you just got to have confidence, man. I mean, I think we're doing these tournaments like this so we can, like we said, we're wrestling different people. We're getting different feels from guys we've never seen before. So it's like, you know, just showing that we can compete with anybody. We can't be worried about what's going to be the outcome or anything like that. We got to surrender the outcome. Well, that's a lot of what our guys have been talking about lately. Like we've been trying to figure out why we're having success right now and why we had success last year. And it's our coaches are really emphasizing, like, you know, people don't seem to be worried about what's going to happen next. You know, we're just taking it as it goes in the moment, and you know, we're just running with it. And lately, you know, it's been working, right? I mean, we've had a lot of fun. We beat up on some teams this year. We've had a couple close duels, obviously, with Princeton and stuff like that. But yeah, just more about keeping that confidence, taking one match at a time, and just trying to, you know, do the best you can. Whatever happens, happens. Like I said, I've had a few close matches this year. I think I could have, you know, won by a little more in a few, you know, done a little some things different. But at the end of the day, a win's a win. You can't be upset with it, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like, talk a little bit about I guess physically, you know, you hear people talk about it all the time. Like the Big Ten season is a grind, you know, guys get beat up, you know, they're worn out, you know, and then, you know, I've even heard people say like, oh, you might be better off to go to like a, you know, ACC school or something where you can kind of like, have, you know, I mean, not that there's not good schools in the ACC, you know, but like go to a lesser conference where you can kind of coach
exactly
postseason. I mean, now that, like I said, you know, you've been through it a few times from a physical standpoint, how do you kind of keep your body, you know, to where you can try to feel healthy towards the end of the year? Because I think you'd actually had a couple issues the last couple of years where you're a little banged up at the end of the year. So how do you plan to approach that to, you know, to be ready for the postseason?
You know, like you said, yeah, I have been banged up a little bit. You know, I'm a wimp with that stuff. You know, my body doesn't like it, but yeah, I mean, just kind of, you know, taking some days off here and there. We have like this regimen where Roger's been going over. We have like, we'll come back, say we do a Friday, Sunday thing. Saturday, we just do the light in between. We're not trying to blow ourselves out or kill ourselves. We're trying to, you know, lose some weight, sweat out however we did the day before, obviously, then go into that Sunday match feeling good. And then after that, obviously we'll come back usually on a Monday, have a nice little light practice again. And then he usually gives us a day off each week, either on Tuesday or Wednesday, to where we get the whole day off, no lift, no wrestling practice, nothing structured. And we come, I mean, if you want to come in, you can. I usually go in, get like a 30-45 minute drill in, with one of the freshmen or Kathy or Willie, just to, blow my lungs out a little bit, make sure I'm still feeling good on the mat, not trying to get all sluggish or anything. I don't like to really take a day off right now, technically, in a way, just because from my own standpoint, I don't know, it makes me feel a little lazy or whatever. And it makes me not feel as ready to go going into the weekend. So, I like to stay prepared to do that stuff. But yeah, just physically, Brett, we got a new trainer this year, Brett Penning. He has been doing an absolutely great job. He he really cares about our health, everything we need to go, everything we have for him, we talk to him about, and he's jumping right on it right away. I got kicked in the face yesterday. I chipped my tooth with like 5 minutes left in practice yesterday. And by the time I got out of practice, he already had a dentist appointment set up for me 20 minutes later. So it's wow. He's doing, it's been great. So it's like, we have all the resources are finally coming together. People are trying to very support us. So, I think a lot of that actually has to do with, we talk about physical. I think the mental aspect of just like knowing that we have a support system behind us, our school cares for us, and believe in what we're doing. So it's like, I think that all just kind of ties into just us feeling good and physically and mentally.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got your team you guys are very kind of veteran heavy, right? You got you, Cam, Rayvon Foley, Chase now is in his third year in the lineup. Jordan Hammond's been in the lineup for a while. I feel like I'm probably missing some guys. Omanya's been in the lineup for a few years. Does it feel different from, I guess, your first couple of years in the lineup? Where you were new and you're kind of trying to figure it all out. Like, what's different now, being one of the leaders and with a group of other guys that are veteran leaders as well?
Like you said, man, I mean, it's all about experience. I mean, I came in my freshman year and I believe we had one, maybe two seniors on our team, and in our lineup, let alone, I believe it was one or two guys, and the other 8 guys were freshmen, sophomores, maybe 2 juniors. We were super young, and that was kind of something I was really excited for, because obviously, we come in, we had some success my freshman year when I redshirt, and then I come in my sophomore year and we did pretty well. We started, coming on the an upward trend, I should say. We didn't do really well. I think it was our first year we actually had a positive dual meet season, or we were even, maybe something like that at least. But I mean, it was like the first time we did that in 10 years, even just being even or a little bit of positive in a dual meet. So, it really shows that we have this, like you said, experiential leadership between me, Kathy. Chase is in his 3rd year, Peyton's in his 5th year. I mean, Ryan Vasbinder, a transfer from McKendree, he's in his 6th year. I mean, we have all this experience and all these guys, these freshman phenoms, I like to call them, in our room right now, that get to look up to these guys and actually have someone to, show them the way, in a way, which in a way, I feel like I had that not too much. I made my ties with the guys, the seniors, when I was a freshman, but obviously I believe that the senior class and all these guys we have right now are on a different level than when I came in, for sure. So I think it's been really cool to have that experience and, kind of rub off on these guys in a way to show them what I've, gone through myself since my freshman year. So that's been good.
That's really cool. One more year? You got one more year?
I do have one more year. I kind of just recently,
year, right?
Yeah, the COVID year. Kind of just actually, I got out of Roger's office about a couple of days ago, and we talked over what we're thinking for next year. I just wanted him to tell me that he wanted me to come back. Right? So so we talked about that. We finally set in stone. I will be coming back for one more year. I'm going to try to get a grad degree. So
okay, I was going to ask. So do you graduate this year then?
Yeah, I actually just graduated this past semester. So I graduated about 3 days ago. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Well, yeah, that's exciting. One more year. The only good thing to come out of COVID, I guess, is guys. Yeah. It feels like guys are in college forever now. Like, I mean, like Rayvon seems like.
Tell me about it.
I think Rayvon's 30.
Dude. It seems like it, right? There's some of these guys that are in their 6th, 7th, 8th. I mean, there's a couple guys that were in 8th years last year. It's unbelievable, right? But if they love the sport like that, man, stay as long as you can, right?
No, I mean, that's one thing I'll say, like, looking back, I mean, I'm old. It was a long time ago when I wrestled, but like when you're in the lineup, when you're traveling and, like the Big Ten season, it feels, sometimes it can be like, it can feel tedious and, you get kind of worn out. But the one thing I would say to you and the guys in your situation is to remember, like, this is what you kind of your whole life you wait for, is to that opportunity. And there's so many high school kids and youth kids and, that they're wrestling right now, hoping that someday they can, be in a Big Ten lineup and, get to do what you're doing.
Exactly.
So it's really
For
cool.
sure.
And it's nice that you have that positive mindset about it.
Yeah, and that's kind of what kind of drove me to do the 6-year. Obviously, I had a lot of people in my ear. Obviously, I had some, obviously coming to my last couple of years, I have a couple of job offers here and there, talking to people about working next year, maybe making some money. And I really came down to a lot of different people. Some of the alumni talked to me about it. My parents talked to me about it. I only get to do this once, right? I mean, why would I not take the opportunity if I have it? And obviously, if I look down the road a couple years in advance and I would regret this, maybe, I don't want to have that chance and have that on my heartache or anything, you know what I mean? So
For sure.
definitely just decided, this is something I got to do. I still love the sport enough to, not even enough. I love the sport. Hands down. I just enjoy it way too much. I used to hate coming into practice sometimes, stuff like that. I actually enjoy doing stuff like that. So it's like, why not ride it out for one more? It's not a big deal.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. And yeah, like I said, happy to see you back for another year. What's your goal for this year? You've made it to the NCAA tournament 3 times. Going into this year, I guess what's your, you said you don't like to look ahead. I'm going to tell you to look ahead. What's your light at the end of the tunnel? I mean, what's like, what do you want to accomplish?
Obviously, the goal is always the same. I want to be a national champion. I want to be on top of the podium, show everybody that I'm here. I can do great things, and obviously like that. But like I want to go back to the one match at a time thing, though. I need to win a match at NCAA's. That's what I need to do. I put a lot of heartache on myself, and obviously for the showings I've had at the last couple of years haven't been what I wanted. But I know I have all the.
What do you need to do differently this year for that to happen? Like, what adjustments?
I truly believe that. So before the season started, we had to have a long sit down. Some of our captains, some of the older, experienced guys on the team had to have a sit down with our coaches, and because in the past, we thought, we did really well at Big Tens like 2 years ago. We took 6th or 7th. It was the highest placing we've had in a long time. So it was like, I think we're in a right direction, right? We're going in the right direction. Then NCAA's comes around and we take a big dookie down our leg, don't do well. and we're trying to figure out. And so we thought, maybe that was just, what happens, it's NCAA's, people have, whatever fear or nervousness. And, we were still young at the time, but, then we go through it again last year. We had the best year of our season. We finished number 15 in the country. We beat 4 Big Ten teams. Yeah, some big dual wins. We did well to where, but we started talking about how we peaked kind of about a month before NCAA's happened, where everybody was peaking at NCAA's. So there was a long talk about why or what is going on with the program and why we can't finish at the end of the year and other people can. And I don't, maybe some people have noticed, but or maybe not. I have no idea. But we've brought down our match count quite a bit this year.
I did notice. Yeah, most of the starters didn't wrestle at the MSU Open.
Exactly. A lot of the starters didn't want to wrestle MSU Open. It's a long tournament. It's been a tough one. It's like a 12-hour tournament. You get 6 matches almost guaranteed if you lose one, which, a lot of us just expect ourselves to lose. But, it's just, just a thing that I've wrestled 6 matches there every single year since I've been in college. Yeah. So it's like, just a big match thing tournament. So, we're just trying to figure out what's going to work. Is that the answer? Is that the key to our success? We won't know until March. Right. So, but from what it's shown so far, we got the Ravons, the Caffeys, me, Chase, we feel really good right now. We're confident in our abilities and how we've been wrestling, and, missing the MSU Open. Yeah. Was there some pretty good competition there? Yeah. But we know that down the road in a Big Ten season, going to Reno, doing all this stuff, we're going to have enough tough matches, get ourselves ready for the NCAA's in March.
For sure.
So, so that's been kind of the biggest aspect, I think, just giving ourselves time to, recover, feel good, not be worried about what's next. And I think that's been a big difference so far in how we've been wrestling. So
cool. So over winter break after Reno, you go home a little bit over break?
Yeah, this is actually the longest break we've gotten as a team since I've come into college. Because obviously we used to do South Beach. They used to get like 2 days off for break, and then last year we went to the Scuffle. We had no days. I think we had 1 day off. We got to go home for a day or two, and then we had to come back, and we had to go over New Year's and wrestle the Scuffle. So
yeah, Midlands and the Scuffle are like the absolute worst coming up.
dude, for sure.
I just remember
Heck yeah.
so much overweight, having to lose weight, get ready for we used to go to Midlands, and it was just like
Yeah.
torture. So yeah, that'll be nice for you guys to not have to I mean, you probably don't cut a whole lot of weight. I would assume now that you're up.
No, I don't. I've got I don't know. I've kind of cracked the code on cutting weight. I'm pretty good at losing weight and stuff. I mean, not even cracked the code. I drop a ton of weight in practice. I can't even keep weight on, so I'm not going to be upset about it. I'm in season, so it's not a big deal. Nice. But yeah.
Very cool. So when you go back Macomb, Dakota, you gonna work out with the team at all?
For sure. I've actually been talking to Putt a lot more. He's one of our assistant coaches, Brian Ailes. I call him Putt. He's a real good dude too. I stay in contact with him quite a bit. I talk to Caleb Wing every once in a while, still just making sure he's doing how he's doing. Future Spartan, brother, right? Yeah, heck yeah. We'd love to see it. But yeah, I've been trying to stay in contact with them as much as I can. Obviously I've been a little busy. They're obviously getting into their season, so they're getting a little more busy. So but yeah, I definitely got to go back, and I'm gonna try to beat up on some of their upper weight guys, toughen them up a little bit. In those 2 weeks, I'm gonna be home, and hopefully it helps out a little bit.
Coach Skineski, also a former Spartan, he's gonna need your help because they got a tough. Romeo's tough this year. I don't know if you follow.
That's what I've heard. No, I've heard Romeo is real nice. I believe that someone told me about 2 years ago that they were going to be really, really good in like 2 or 3 years. And I was just like, Romeo, really? Like where out of nowhere, right? And then I saw they did well last year, and I've heard they're even better this year. So yeah.
No, they're tough. They gave Davison a close duel. And they were they were only within 10 of Davison, I think, on opening night. And then they were within like 20 of CC last weekend. So yeah, they're you guys, Macomb, Dakota will see them during the season, obviously, and then I think that's who they have at regionals. So they're gonna need your help. Make sure you get them ready.
For sure, definitely gonna give them some talk and some pointers, no doubt.
Did Coach Skineski, was he a big part of you going to Michigan State?
Yeah, I would say so for sure. Obviously, coming around my freshman sophomore year, it was actually a funny story. So I don't know if you remember Tyler Sanders. Me and Tyler were really cool growing up together. Obviously, he was one of my best friends. We trained everywhere together. That's how me and him got so good. We were competing against each other, right? So you need that best friend to do that with. But funny story, Chris Williams, when he left Michigan State for those 2 years ago at Adrian, he actually tried to recruit me and Tyler to Adrian after our sophomore season. Tyler took second, I took third. And Eddie looked at him and was like, he came into our suite, whatever. Hey, I'm Chris Williams, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And Eddie's like, hey, nice seeing you, all this. But he's like, these guys are not going anything but D1, I promise you, anything like that. So it's like, it was just a funny little start. And then obviously we had the little conversations. I started doing a little better or whatever. And Eddie and I don't know if you remember Joel Chombley. He was obviously one of our assistant coaches.
So Eddie and Joel were both teammates of mine.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I would say a little bit of push from both of them. Yeah. They helped me get there. Chris used to come in for some camps over the summer, stuff like that. So he got to get a couple looks at a couple of our guys and stuff like that. And then, obviously Eddie and Joel would go and contact them behind the scenes and try to, get them to give us a couple looks. So they were definitely probably a big help in me coming here for sure.
Cool. Yeah, it's nice to see the kind of the the pipeline, I guess, of Michigan State alumni, helping getting their kids, coaching in high school, and then their kids, following to Michigan State. So it's pretty cool. Last thing before we wrap, we released your jersey tees last week.
Heck yeah, there we go.
One of these in the mail for you. So we these are for sale on the website. I thank you for letting us do it. It's something, again, that I've been kind of, I've had all these like little projects I've wanted to do for the last couple of years. And since the NIL stuff came out, I was like, man, it'd be so cool. And
for sure.
So anyways, those are, if you go to michigangrappler.com, there's a little banner on the top. People can buy them. But we did it. We got you, Rayvon, Jordan, Hamden, and then also Cam Amin from
Okay.
that school up the road.
Yeah, it's cool off the
So,
road.
so anyways, yeah, if anyone watching, if you want to, before that home duel on January, what is it, 6th, I think, 13th?
I believe January 6th, yes.
Make sure you get
And then
your
actually January 13th, we host Michigan as our
Michigan.
first Big Ten duel, actually, too. So,
There should be
yeah,
Michigan and Michigan State jersey tees all over the place at that duel.
exactly, right?
So, a portion of the proceeds does go back to the wrestlers. So it's our way to kind of sponsor you guys and, help support you. So anyways, really excited about that. I think that's all I got. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, I just wanted to say thank you for having me on, man. This is it's really cool. Obviously, not everybody gets to do stuff like this, so it's awesome that you're trying to obviously spread the love and get everybody get excited for MSU wrestling, right? And also thank you very much for the jersey tees. You guys, you obviously didn't have to do something like that. So I've actually had been to a few camps over the summers and stuff, and kids are asking. I'm with Kathy and Chase, and they're selling their T-shirts, and they're like, "Where's your T-shirt? Where's your T-shirt?" And I'm like, I don't have one. So hey,
There you go.
this
Now
is
you got
actually a
one.
really cool opportunity for me, actually, obviously be able to get my name out there a little bit more, have some T-shirts and stuff. So I really appreciate that from you
Yeah,
as
no,
well.
it's my pleasure. That's why that's why I started the site 16 years ago, was to try to make, build wrestling and make it cool and, give exposure. So happy to do it. And I'm excited to see you wrestle this weekend, and excited for the, January to come to a couple matches. Maybe I'll make it to alumni night this year.
For sure. You
I
got to,
didn't
man. That's
I
gonna be a
didn't go
good one.
last year because you guys had the draconian COVID restrictions. So I was like,
Oh
I
yeah,
boycotted. I
yeah,
boycotted it. But
yeah.
hopefully I'll be there this year. And if I bring my kids, I'll have them wear your guys' shirts.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, good luck this weekend. We'll be watching, and thanks for jumping on this morning.
No, yeah. Thank you very much, Tony. I appreciate you having me again, man. This is awesome.
All right, safe travels this weekend. Good luck.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thanks, you too.